been a tidal wave of M&A takeovers in the gold space. Montage Gold is the latest. It's set to acquire the shares it doesn't own in Australia's African Gold. The idea here is adding to its presence in Cote d'Ivoire in West Africa. We're joined by Martino De Ciccio, CEO of Montage Gold. Thank you very much indeed for coming on the show.
Thank you for hosting us.
Before we get into this latest acquisition, just remind us, what are you doing in West Africa already? Are you entirely in Cote d'Ivoire?
Yes, so the last time we met was about 20 months ago. At that point, I had just joined Montage Gold. Since then, we launched construction in November of last year, and we're set to be in production by this time next year. So today we have the largest build going on in the gold space worldwide with Montage Gold in Cote d'Ivoire.
And what's the name of the project where you'll be mining?
Our Kone project in Cote d'Ivoire that already has over 5 million ounces of resources and on track to discover a lot more.
And what production are you looking at annually from Kone?
Well, that's the exciting part. The study showed on the first years over 330,000 ounces, but that was just based on 2 deposits. In the last year, we've added 7 new deposits. Those are growing and more is coming. So we expect to boost production to well above 330,000 ounces for the first years.
We're looking at some viz here. It shows what looks like a lot of housing. I know it's not all housing, but are you going to be housing workers on site when you're in operation?
We've built the permanent camp already. We've also finished the relocation site, so built over 300 homes where people are moving into their homes this week. In fact, we have over 3,000 people on site, but most of those people are sourced locally. So over 90% of our workforce has been trained by us within neighboring villages and towns.
Were there informal miners in the area, and how did you have to negotiate a settlement with them?
No, so we did land compensation, which is regulated in Cote d'Ivoire. We have strong relations with government and with our local stakeholders, which has allowed us to move very quickly. So by the time we joined last year in February, we were able to launch construction 6 months later, and that included the period in which to staff ourselves, get our environmental permit, mining permit, secure 950 million of financing, and obviously launch construction. So in West Africa, and in particular in Cote d'Ivoire, we're able to move very quickly to unlock value for our stakeholders.
And you said that you're on the world arena. Yours is a significant project, this build out at Kone.
Today, we have one of the largest builds worldwide, and by far the largest in a single asset company. So the idea for us was joining Montage, building Kone allows us to be very relevant in the gold space day one, as soon as our Kone project is put into production. And now, because the construction is going very well, we're on budget, on time, and exploration has been going well, we've been able to look ahead at what can come next, and that's where we decided to do the acquisition of African Gold last week.
That's interesting. You were at Endeavour Mining. You were Deputy Chief Financial Officer, and Endeavour Mining is a giant player in West African gold.
Well, we're quickly catching up. So our mine should be in production very soon. We now have a pipeline of projects with DDV that comes with African Gold, and we've been looking at building out an exploration pipeline as well to be able to source the next projects organically.
And you earned your BCom in finance from McGill in Montreal. Is that where you're from originally, Martino, Montreal?
Yes, indeed, from Montreal. I've been working in the gold space for almost 20 years. I've been going to Cote d'Ivoire for the majority of that. So it's allowed us to have a good network in country, both with government, but also with local stakeholders, and being able to quickly staff a team.
And then tell us about this African Gold acquisition. How many potential ounces does that give you?
For us, if I backtrack a bit, we made the initial investment in March of this year, where we took a first toehold over 17% stake. But most importantly, we negotiated operatorship. So it's our team that's been driving the exploration for the last 6 months. So we understand this asset better than anyone else. Since we've joined, the resource has increased already from 450,000 ounces to 1,000,000 ounces at 2.5 grams. We are now doing a 40,000 meter drill program and expect to further increase this resource next year.
And then you have a bunch of individuals involved in the company who were with Redback Mining, which was bought ultimately by Kinross, and they had projects in Ghana and other places.
That's correct. So Montage was the assets that were there were in Redback before, went into Orca and got spun out into Montage prior to us joining. And since we've joined, we've been able to move this project along very quickly through the permitting and construction phases. And now we're well on track to being able to build on our strategy of creating a multi-asset premier African gold producer by bringing Kone into production on time, on budget, and looking at the future with the DDV project acquired from African Gold as the next project to build. Again, we have our own construction team. We bought our own equipment, and therefore we're quickly able to mobilize our team to launch the next build in the same country.
Thank you very much, Martino. Martino De Ciccio, CEO of Montage Gold.